See if they can get this first game victory with this CK that they've been performing so well on. Still, ban stage is upon us once again. 4 more bans to come out. You pointed out the Invoker for Among Us, which I think is a very viable option right now as well. Boom Esports surely are just going to ban it out and expect maybe Jabs to be in that pos for Wind Ranger. Otherwise, if you really do leave the Arbit Invoker, you just, we've seen it before. Chrono into Cataclysm, it just sucks. Pugna's going to be banned though. They have not banned out the Invoker yet.
They
might leave it.
I mean, you could kind of bully it, right? Like you've got this Mirana who can rotate mid really nicely. It just depends on what mid laner they want here from Mikado.
Yeah.
I can see Mikado giving Abed quite the fight, and then in Invoker, if it falls behind, the Ag's timings gets delayed, and even the Urn timing, which can be devastating for Quaswex. So we'll have to see. I still think it's a scary pick though, but Boom might just be confident. Maybe they're weighing out the other options here for Among Us, although they have pretty much taken care of a lot of the Abed specialists anyway. I think it would be just fine to take the Invoker out.
You'd think so. They're going to think about it. "30 seconds reserve time left for this final ban out, so they seem to be a little bit stuck here with this final ban. Can be a little bit tough to ban against Among Us because they are very versatile with their hero picks. Well, they're really going to just take it down all the way, huh? 10 seconds now for Boom Esports to make this ban, and they actually get rid of the Broodmother, surprisingly enough. Okay, I mean, I thought they may have already had the counter and the Tidehunter. Thought maybe you could just run the Tide mid if you were going to be up against the Brood, but they do ban it out. There's your TA ban from Among Us now. Boom Esports, their final pickup. They still need a Makoto hero. And he could take the Invoker himself if he wants. That's an option.
I think you've got the option of Ravage Cataclysm. That's also pretty devastating.
Sure.
So it's a decent pick for either side, although I do feel like it's much more an Among Us pick. I mean, it's not like Mikado doesn't play Invoker. I just think they do prefer something with a bit more steady activity here for Mikado, something more domineering in lane. But no, they go with it themselves. All right, so they've got the combination. It's them that needs to rush the Ags. Maybe the Urn comes out first, of course, just building into that. But Ravage Cataclysm is nice until the BKBs come out, of course. But before that point, you've got a lot there. You've got some decent combos here. You've got good ways to fight against the Chrono as well, as long as the Invoker's outside or as long as the Venge is there to swap the Invoker out. You've got Disarms, Tornadoes, EMPs. It's pretty darn good to bring the team fight to Among Us and kind of force them to think twice about what to pick. Of course, kind of breaks up Among Us's combo as well. The only real thing they have with the Faces of Void working out there is the steroid from the Ogre Magi and the Wind Ranger doing damage outside.
But you
really were looking for the Invoker, I think.
You do have Snapfire, though. If you want.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, they're going to bring up the Ember. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. It will be an Arbit mid-Ember, which we've seen before, John. I believe he may have run this last time he versed Boom, if I'm... No, it wasn't against Boom. It was against someone else, but... Yes?
I think it was against Motivate Trust, if I want to say right. Yeah, it was against MG Trust, their last game in that series. It's an Abed special. Doesn't quite synergize with the Chrono well, but I think right now with Wind Ranger here for Jabs, you're feeling pretty confident in it. It's about winning the mid lane matchup now. So Ember Spirit can get a bit more aggressive. The Invoker's got to watch its spacing. Level 1, level 2 are pretty trash for the Invoker. Even level 3 is kind of mixed. You want to really ride it out to level 4 to sustain yourself. We'll see what Mikado can bring out. He does have Hyde and Mirana. You've got a lot of rotation potential there, but Jabs, Wind Ranger. I think that's the real wild card. Pause for Wind Ranger for Among Us. We've got to see what kind of work he puts up. Of course, Jabs has the Arcana and the Sylvan Vedette. So he's looking pretty fantastic today.
He is looking fantastic, John. It makes me very upset because I don't have that damn Sylvan Vedette. not that I play Wind Ranger anyway, but it is a nice looking set. It does suit very nicely.
Yeah.
Very jealous.
I mean, it
Still-
has a Phoenix. You think
That's
a
why
guy
I'm jealous,
called-
John.
Yeah.
I actually remember looking at that when it was in one of the battle pass, and I
Yep,
was like, I should really grind this out, and I just never did. It makes me sick now remembering that thought of mine, just not to do it.
Oh, you snooze, you lose, Mike. You
Yeah, well,
snooze,
I
you
looked on the
lose.
market. It's like $70 now. Gotta pay $70 for it.
Jeez. Nah, definitely not. Still, you know, aside from the cosmetics, the drafts are looking exciting. You've got specials on both sides. Savage Void, Dreamocell, Casino Night. This is really a treat. Game 1 draft that has both sides having some of their best heroes. I think it's gonna make for a really explosive first game, and both teams have been on a roll. It's a treat. I mean, what a way to start the day.
Yeah, let's not forget the last time these guys went up against each other in game number 2. Among Us ran techies and actually did cook Boom. If you want to look at it that way, you know, they just blew them up. It's pretty funny game from the side of Among Us. We'll see what they do in game 2. I mean, if they're feeling confident today Among Us, who knows what they're going to bring out. But for now, game 1 looks to be pretty serious. You know what, John?
Yeah.
I don't think Whitemon's going to hit the Roshan today.
Oh, that's fair.
He's
Maybe
playing
not.
Ogre. I don't think he's going to do it. And in fact,
You don't
I
think
dare
so?
I dare him to do it as Ogre.
Are you sure about that? You sure you're gonna question him in hitting that? It's been every game, unless the enemy team's there. We'll see. They're pausing. Maybe they're having discussion about this. They're not gonna stop.
Can I tell you the truth, John? I actually did it in my recent pub game, right? I
Yeah?
was playing
Did you win?
Oracle. I did win, believe it or not. I was playing Oracle, and I ran to the Roshan pit, and I hit the Roshan, and believe it or not, I got bashed first hit. I lost half my
Wow.
HP to the Roshan. I got very upset, but we still won the game. So maybe
See?
it was the way to do it. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the secret. That's why they won't tell us why they do it. Good Cuckoo just said they were muted by Boom. Oh god. I mean, I'll say this right now. I did tell the boys, all of the boys in the lobby, I told them we're gonna be tracking how efficient you guys are with your chat wheel cooldowns, and apparently they took it to heart. They're not
Oh
stopping.
no! Why would you say that, John? He's doing it.
Just to
Here we
keep
go
spirits
again.
up. There you go.
Oh, he's got
You
balls,
said
this
he
kid.
wouldn't.
Oh, I thought he wouldn't, John, but he still does it. Look, there you go. Get him, Roshan.
Oh man.
Bash him again. Why? I don't know what he's doing. He's losing HP on purpose, this kid. He's got 5.5 HP regen though, so he's gonna have it all back up. It's no problem for him. There you go. The
Yeah.
process is done. Whitemon, he's happy now.
Yeah, and that's Whitemon support duty. That's how they guarantee to win. You know, if Boom actually went, what if both teams just went to the pit, both of them slapped it, but didn't slap each other? What would that do?
Who knows? Boom should really
I'd
go
love
in
to
there
see
and give it a hit as well. Just see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, Whitemon does
they
it
won't.
every game. You may as well just go gank him as 5, right? Like in the Roshan pit. Just
Yeah.
go kill him. How
Maybe
how
it's
have
an
teams not
honor
picked up
thing.
on it?
Maybe it's an honor system, you know, they don't want to throw him under the bus. And you've got an interesting setup for lanes here as well for game 1. You've got FBZ up top, who is solo right now. He's going to be up against a early tri lane that might break up with Whitemon, Jabs, along with Cuckoo's off lane. Mars, of course, so they're tossing the tide against the Mars. They're trying to give their CK a better time. Of course, Whitemon breaks his tri lane up, but our tide is going to be alone for the most part. We'll see what he can do. I think they just want to give
Bot lane.
FBZ the unfavorable matchup.
A lot of stuns out on Savage. He's going to be able to time walk away. They just chained all 3 stuns down at that bot lane on Savage. So one thing he has to worry about is they do have a lot of stuns down at that bot lane with this trial lane from Boom Esports.
Oh yeah, it's the perfect pub strat. You know, get 3 stuns out, get the arrow, and you are good to go. You have to watch the level 2 spikes here. Once Dreamocell has Reality Rift or the Chaos Strike, you're gonna have an easier time lining this up.
There's damage coming out. Savage, he'll be able to time walk it off. Have a look at that mid lane though. Makoto going to be up against Abed, and Abed seems to have lost a lot of HP on that Ember. Does have a set of tangos available, so he'll start regenning up But looks like Mikoto has gone for the Quas Wex build and has gone straight into Tornado EMP. And you can already see Abed's mana pools just in half right now. So Mikoto already intending to be very aggressive on this Invoker.
And that's what you like to see. You can't afford to sit around letting Ember kind of pull you out. You need to get that good start. He's going up in his level, so he's going to be able to sustain this lane. Abed just got to watch his footing. He's got some ways to outplay the Invoker, but it's all down to reflexes, and it is a rather balanced mid. Mikado just getting the work done early on.
He is. So Abed is ahead in CS. That's the one thing, right? Like, you can harass Abed as much as you want, but when you go Quas Wex Invoker, it is quite hard to deny creeps away. So you do have such a low base kind of damage on the Invoker without Exort. So Abed should still be able to get quite a bit of farm here on this Ember Spirit. It shouldn't be too bad for him. And by the way, John, Among Us, they've brought the tri-lane down bot now. So it's going to be tri-lane versus tri-lane down at this bot lane. Still triple stuns available for Boom Esports though, so it is kind of scary, but I guess with this Wind Ranger around now with that power shot, you do have a lot of damage output.
Yeah, there's some good output available. You've got this Blightstone up in jabs as well, so when you do trade right clicks, it's not that favorable. Whitemon can tank the front lines, and it can be a bit tricky to get the right initiation there. So it's an interesting time. Among Us is being forced to do something they usually never do, and Boom as well just keeping that up. So it's a battle of attrition. I think the objective is really just slowing down Savage's farm. They're stacking Dreamocel's progress for this, but the CK does come online fairly quick. Does have good damage once you hit 6, so it hurts Among Us a little bit more because Savage will need initial farm.
He will. In terms of Savage's farm though, it's just fine, but they do jump in with another arrow set up, and that'll be First Blood. Dream Missile able to pick a First Blood up onto 23 Savage. That's one of the better ways to start this game off for Boom Esports.
Yeah, it's a really good time. That's exactly what this tri-lane wants. Just keep the Void down, get the kills off, force Savage to be uncomfy with every single time walk. You look at Savage's build-up as well. He's forced to go time dilation. So you can't go up for the time lock harassment because he needs to slow down the aggression with dilation in front instead. And that does slow down the progress of the Void just a bit. It's not a big win, but it's playing into Boom Esports' early game plans.
Well, mid lane, Hyde is going to be able to take the first power rune, and it was a haste rune, and now Jabs and Hyde will just give it to each other. Bot lane, however, Whitemon dropping very low on the Ogre now. So they are going to have to make their way back down to that bot lane if you are Jabs, but he's still going up against Hyde. Hyde still trading harass here very confidently, but he does have to be pretty wary about the power shot of Jabs. Does have wand charges if necessary, but Jabs won't pop them. We'll go back to the lane now. But both those heroes are going to be quite low in HP as they walk over.
Yeah, I think this tri-lane is costing both sides a lot in regen, especially mana, although they're going to try again.
Whitemon, arrow going to fly in. He really doesn't have much of a way out of this, and yeah, he goes down once again to Dream Missile. Of course, the CK has so much base damage that it's quite easy to get the damage output out that you need once you have that many stuns available. So I really like what Boom Esports is doing here to try and combat Among Us. Not only slowing 23 Savage down, but securing their own farm with their tri-lane.
Yeah, and this is also hurting Jabs. We've seen how Jabs likes to play. We know the timings of the Wind Ranger as well, right? It's down to that first Javelin. And when you're forced in a tri-lane like this, there's not much farm to get. There's not much EXP to get, and that's just slowing down the progress of her Wind Ranger as well.
Hyde's rotated into that mid lane, but Abed is going to be able to get a full bottle off of Whitemon, who does TP in. Looks like Hyde decides better of it. He's going to go back down to the bot lane. Try to see if he can set up another kill for Dream Missile. Kescute is going to come in, but nice shackle out from Jabs. Going to stop the magic missile. Follow-up from Kescute. Had that shackle not landed, I'm not sure if they would have survived there. Meanwhile, top lane, FBZ, apparently just solo killing off Cuckoo. And he only has Anchor Smash. How?
Yeah, I don't know. The top lane was a back and forth for a long time. Sometimes you'd see FBZ drop low, sometimes Cuckoo. It is rather static. Both sides have a pretty decent amount of damage that can fly in. But FBZ with a kill, he's not going to ask that question. He has his level 6. He has Ravage. If he wanted to rotate, he could force a pretty big team fight right now in any lane, but looks like they're just going to maintain that farming lane here.
Yeah, Cuckoo's going to try and give it back to him now with the spear. But he's a really tanky Tide. He'll be fine. Cuckoo just going to keep chasing him down. Now does have the arena up, so there is some kill potential here for Cuckoo. He has a spear coming up, and looks like he might go for it. There's your arena. FBZ, how do you juke this one out? He gets speared up through the wall, and will just go down. I thought FBZ was going to be alright, but once Cuckoo hit level 6, you knew he had the damage.
Yeah, it's a good punishment for Cuckoo. That did force Jabs to come up, though. So now it's just 2 heroes bot. That might complicate things for Savage as they keep that aggression up here.
They do. Another stun to fly out. Arrow not being thrown out yet. Savage is going to be able to juke it out as well. A bit unfortunate there for Hyde. But a nice escape for 23 Savage.
Yeah,
I say escape though, John. You look at Boom CS right now. They are just way ahead.
Oh, definitely. They're having a better time with this tri lane. It's really affecting Savage's build-up. Whitemond's going to try to zone them out, but this might cost them.
They might. Whitemon is going to get stunned up again, and it's just perma-stuns. He'll try and turn around for a Fire Blast of his own, but it really means nothing. 23 Savage. His farm's not that bad considering the circumstances, but when you're up against a CK like this who's going to be online during the mid-game, you don't really want to be behind if you are a Faceless Void.
No, definitely not. This is going to mean that Savage is going to have to sit back and farm up. He does rotate mid instead, so they free up the bot lane. They're done with facing up against this aggression boom. They get the space to get a push going on that bot tier 1. And Among Us not quite in a position to really get as much damage, although they are trying to clump down mid here.
They are. They don't have Chrono up on Savage, so it's not like they really have much kill potential. Meanwhile, bot lane, apparently Dreamer Soul does end up going down to Cuckoo on the Mars, so Cuckoo making the rotation, and now mid. They are going. Shackle out from Jabs onto Kescue, but the Tornado is going to land from Mikoto. Jabs is going to go down. Mikoto able to pick up his first kill of the game on the Invoker.
It's still a bigger kill there for Among Us getting out Dreamocell. That is one thing with the CK. You do not want to leave it alone necessarily. The rotation out did cost them their forced life. Still looking fairly decent here for Boom. 2-5, 1k lead. They're dragging Mikoto down bot. They want to make another kill happen here.
Can they though? Cuckoo's there, but he's a pretty tanky boy. Might be a little bit hard to get through his HP pool. Kodo is coming back in, and no, he's going to decide better of it. He'll go back towards the mid lane now, understanding there's no real kill potential down to that bot lane for him. May as well just keep farming up on this Invoker. I mean, he is top of the net worth board, so you don't really want to lose that position if you can avoid it. He's going to be working straight into that Orchid build up on this Invoker, so no Midas perhaps, just straight Orchid.
No. Yeah, they're looking for the aggression here from the Invoker. I think that's fair when you've got a CK that comes to the line quickly as well. This ward from Among Us has really wasted a lot of Mikoto's time. It's been down to that. He was trying to run back in when he saw the opportunity. Never really did. So heads up ward there from Among Us, just keeping themselves safe. And it's still 2-5. You're still slightly behind if you're Among Us, but you are finding some space. Savage needs a little bit more to play catch-up here. But you're in a good spot with Cuckoo. You're in a decent spot with Abed. You're going to have to play around your Ember and your Tide if you want to get some aggression out. Your Ember and your Mars, sorry, if you want to get some aggression out. But it does look like if you do play passively, Among Us, I mean, they get space for Savage. I think we've talked about this multiple times, but for Among Us, the win condition tends to be the Savage hero. So if they get space like this, even if Boom is farming, I think they're confident enough that they're trading fairly even farm on both sides for now.
Well, Abed looks like he does need to get the drums up before he does start making rotations with his team. Bot lane, Whitemon dropping low again. Hyde just going to leap in straight after him and dives the tier 1 tower. Another kill for Boom here. They'll take the 2k net worth lead and a 2-6 lead in terms of the kill score. Savage just forced into the jungle now. doesn't even have a Morbid Mask up. Just has to deal with it in the jungle. See what he can get done here. He does get lucky with an Iron Talon at least. So he does have that for him. Looks like Abed's going to be the one to TP down to the bot lane and try to protect it by himself. But now FBZ's coming in. Abed might need to back out of there, but he does get swapped in and does Remnant out. Looks like the stun will follow him all the way up. But boom, they'll be able to get that bot tier 1 tower. And they smoke up into the mid lane, it seems. Time to get that Ravage on cooldown.
Yeah, we haven't really seen it used up yet, so you would want to find a kill. Among Us is clumped up top, so Savage is trying to get that tier 1 trade going. They might have to sacrifice a hero mid for that, though.
Jab's going to be alright. He's going to break the smoke and avoid the gank. 23 Savage, he is going to be able to head and go get that tier 1 tower. Very, very easy for him. Does have that Mask of Madness coming up on the Void now, so his farm should speed up a little bit. While the rest of Boom are still just sitting in that mid lane, and I'm pretty sure FBZ does want to commit the Ravage. They are pinging out towards their jungle. They saw Whitemon running in. They know he's put a ward down somewhere. Whitemon is set to just fall. His courier even comes in, but they'll take the hero kill and leave the courier. Another kill out for Mikoto on the Invoker.
It's been a good time for Boom. They got some fast timings into Midas as well, around a 12.5, maybe 12-minute mark flat for Dreamo Cell. So power treads, 1 bracer, Midas up. His farm is set to escalate even more. I mean, you talked about Savage's Mask of Madness. It's helpful, but there's a little bit more catch-up that you need to do. He's actually saving for the Battle Fury as well. So it's just a very farm-heavy build for the Faceless Void this game. Not too much emphasis on getting the first chrono out. Just playing it safe, building a net worth lead. Looks like they want to hold out towards the late game here. Whereas Boom, they might be looking for a bit of a faster start. Battle Fury Void just kind of slows down the entire draft for Among Us. So you're going to have to be aware of that and play around its timings.
Well, they smoke up mid lane. They've got the blink up on Cuckoo. As well as that, the Javelin on Jab. So plenty of damage output now from your Wind Ranger. And you've got the initiation there. Gonna head up towards that top lane. Kezcube might run straight into them if he's not careful. Or even hide. He's gonna get spotted out. Cuckoo not really reacting that quick, but he still can get the arena off. Kezcube ran into it. He wants to try and fight. There's your arrow with the EMP to fly out from Mikoto, and Cuckoo is completely out of mana and now surrounded as well. Boom Esports able to pick up another kill and not really lose anyone to that gank.
Yeah, and they also hold on to FBZ's Ravage. Like, the patience from FBZ to hold off on using his spell has given them opportunities. He's trying to look to use it on Abed, but Abed should just be able to slide by a little.
Tornado Ravage, perfect onto Abed, and he will go down. Great setup there from Mikoto. Now into that tier 1 mid tower they go. Boom Esports a 3k net worth lead, and they are looking really good here throughout this 15-minute mark. Among Us, they've got to be patient. They're going to just try and delay this game out, but they're going to start with a team fight. Jabs going to go down immediately to the Chaos Meteor. Now Cuckoo still moving in, but doesn't have the arena. He's just trying to force them back off that tier 1 mid tower. That's exactly what he'll do.
Yeah, it's still costly losses here for Among Us. They're just dropping their heroes way too often. 3k lead for Boom, 2-10. Losing Abed really does hurt your momentum here. And we talked about the fact that Savage is playing slower. Abed needs to be able to apply more influence on the map. With the drums, he needs to find some openings here.
Nice spear back from Cuckoo with the Fire Blast out onto Whitemon, but a great swap from Kezcube. Going to save the day for FBZ, and now a huge tornado out from Mikoto. But Savage, he does get the chrono off. He's caught the Invoker. It's a massive target to get, but they don't hit the chains. Mikoto going to try and run. Savage hoping for a bash, but Cuckoo, he'll jump in and get the job done. Mikoto giving a dominating streak away to the Mars, and they can go into that tier 1 mid tower now.
That's a really good first chrono coming out. Savage is finding an opportunity. They transition to a good objective to take as well, and they drag back at least 1k of that lead. So down to 2k of a lead for Boom. They've got to be cautious about that, as Among Us outside of Savage, all of their spells are pretty low cooldown. Arena is way shorter compared to Ravage, for example, and that does mean Among Us, with these couple of items they've got, you know, like the drums on Albert being up and ready to go, they can play faster. Who needs to...
Gonna go on to Savage. Oh, Savage, not realizing that Dreamersoul was there, and Hyde with the follow-up arrow was going to be enough. A great setup from Boom.
Oh, that is the kind of punishment you want here from Boom. Slowing down Savage's farm, that's gonna hurt them. He's still working towards a Battle Fury, so it's farming for more farm efficiency, and again, that's gonna offset your Void's start. So they've got to be cautious about that. Get some more wards bot if he wants to farm there, as that's an area that Boom has some pretty solid control and vision in. They're gonna have to get some D-wards off to get that safe farm. Still, Among Us, they are grouping up, for the most part, up top, trying to get some shoves in. Boom, not really under any threat, just constantly farming up. Dreamocell already has the Sange, working towards the SNY in his CK, and we know what he does once that's up. He really does start to just apply that pressure to get a good arrow.
Yeah, Cuckoo's in trouble. Hyde, another great setup with that Mirana. Into that tier 1 mid tower, and they will be able to at least get the trade off. A 3-12 now for Boom Esports with a 4K net worth lead. So things are still going swimmingly here for Boom as they head towards that bot lane, but Abed, he will be able to rim it down in time. But you look at Hyde's Mirana now, John. He's got that Eul Scepter up, which means he can just set up for himself. That's going to make the lives of Among Us a lot harder.
Yeah, it's really gonna complicate how Among Us positions themselves, how they should play around the map. They really do need a little bit more vision out. They've only got wards in that top jungle where, you know, Boom has not really played. I think they've got to either get the wards down bot, try to wrangle control back, or just keep farming in that top jungle. Right now they're stuck in their triangle, which isn't the most efficient. It's kind of starving out, say, Abed, or even the progression for Jabs, although he is inching towards that Blink and the Wind Ranger. That's going to help massively with getting some decent shackles off, which you do need. You are seeing the item build up here just line up though. Dreamosol, he's got the SNY. So RCK is ready to just run people down. This is the timing that Dreamosol loves to play around. Boom, they've got the Ravage ready. They might look for something to happen in the next minute or so.
Dreamosol's been farming real good here on the CK. That SNY up, he should be ready to fight with his team. Wonder if they do have a smoke ready to go for this Ravage. In fact, yeah, they have two of them. Hyde, he'll be holding them for the team. It's about that time as well, because they know exactly where Among Us are going to be playing right now. You're always going to be in the triangle and the left side of the map if you are in the Radiant for Among Us. You are behind, so you do need to catch up in the safer parts of the map. It's a matter of how you get to that triangle high ground for Boom, if they did want to force that. Or alternatively, they could try for a Roshan, but they haven't exactly got the best Roshing lineup. So it would be very, very slow. Not to mention, you would be playing into a Chrono and Arena, which is not what they want to do.
It's a less than ideal spot, I think, to force a clump up there for Boom. They are building up really nicely as well. Like, I love the itemization from FBZ. After this, Vlad's straight into the Halberd. And, you know, you've got this potential to disarm as to disassemble as well for Dreamocell, and he is queuing up a Manta. So it's going to be the disassembly play. Once you've got these two Halberds up, Savage has to be on point with the Chronos. He does not want to be disarmed in the middle of it, but chances are with two Halberds on your team, on the enemy team, it's going to be really easy to get that done. And Boom, again, they've been sitting on some ults. They do smoke up.
They do. They do scan out the Roshan pit, and when they did do that, Whitemore was running around the Roshan, but they're going to jump in with the leap from Hyde. He's going to get spotted. The rest of Among Us do immediately just back off. Back down towards that bot lane, perhaps, where Jabs is, but he's going to make it back to the base in time. Looks like Jabs should be perfectly fine as well. Cuckoo's going to make his way in on the Mars. Boom Esports still do have a chance to try and fight this one out. They do spot out Jabs and Cuckoo. For the Tornado to come out now with the EMP. Cuckoo, the much better target anyway. Mikoto is able to take it on the Invoker. And now it's into the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and it just melts. You've got a lot of right click out from your CK now. You've got a good amount of damage coming out from your Alacrity. They do manage to stall out long enough on Among Us to get that Battle Fury and Savage. So he has a little bit more damage, but more importantly, he farms a lot faster. Now, these are 2 farming items for the most part, right? Mask of Madness plus Battle Fury, again, slowing down the pace. But Savage is going for the BKB next. So once you've got the BKB, it's easier to commit the Chrono without worrying about the Ravage, although Abed
goes on to hide, but he's been used up. Arrow does connect, but it's only for half a second. Rest of Boom Esports do TP up towards that top lane, but they've missed out on Abed. Pretty much missed out on everyone else as they've all gotten out of there. You've got your Halberd up now on FBZ, so you might want to go for another smoke attempt for Boom. You want to try and get that smoke going before 23 Savage has this BKB up. Then things do become a lot more complicated in terms of trying to go for fights. For this dire side, they have smoked up. Jabs. Not really the target they want. They want a core. They're going to find Abed in that triangle. Mikoto, he just needs to get that Orchid off in time, but no, they don't really spot him out. Now the chains come out from Abed, and a shackle out from Jabs onto 2. They'll get Hyde, and they'll also get Kezcute on the Venge. That's not really what you want if you are Boom. You can't really afford to just go in as 2 supports. You need the whole team there. So Among Us are starting to get a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that Boom tends to smoke up without FBZ. They tend to leave him out of the past few smokes. You need your Tide there with a Ravage if you want to go for these bigger engagements, or at least have Mikado at a good spot. It was a bit of a blind smoke into the triangle. They got punished for it. Among Us going to take the freebies. Boom, if they want to clean up the initiation, they might want to get this blink up on FBZ first. Looks like he might divert towards a Shiva's Guard, but you do want an easy way to just get the Ravage off, get the control off ASAP. Among Us been on point with how patient they are. Like, they are falling 4K behind. It's 5-13, so Boom definitely still in the driver's seat. But they're getting a lot of space out for Savage. He's still number 2 in net worth. He's still finding farm. The Battle Fury paying off in a big way, and he only lacks the recipe for his BKB. So he's going to be able to commit that Chrono a lot more safely in the next fight if you do manage to stall it out this long.
Kezcute and Mikoto heading up towards that top lane, but you've got Abed and Jabs around the corner. Jabs going to jump in, goes for a shackle, but won't be able to latch on. Now looking to back off, but there's your Orchid out from Mikoto. Problem is, Abed did show for a second, so they are too afraid to jump in and just commit to the kill. Now with the swap in, Jabs just going to try and buy time. Sunstrike is going to be on target, but he still gets tornadoed up. Hyde will be the one to take the kill there on the Mirana. Looks like the side of Among Us still not really ready to take a big 5v5 team fight. They're just gonna back off and keep trying to buy more time for 23 Savage.
Yeah, and that's really the entire game plan. Just wait for your Void to be ready. Keep building up. You're confident in your late game because of that Chrono. You have to watch out though. BKBs are flying in here for Boom. You've got one in Mikoto now. You're gonna have the Heaven's Halberd up on Dreamusel shortly, so the disassembly play pretty much finished up. And the Rosh Pit does not last long, not with a Bench and a CK. You can right click really hard with a minus armor.
Roshan's gone. Dreamusel now with the Manta up, working into that AC. He is looking very, very strong on the CK. It has the Halberd. Savage. He's got his BKB on the way in the Courier. There might be time for Among Us now to try and group up and go for a fight with that 10-second charge, but mid lane Arena is out. Mikoto getting caught.
What?
Does die. Cuckoo will give him the tip, but now FBZ shackled up, can't get the Ravage off. Abed going to be able to get out of there. Now the Chrono, Savage, he got 2 of them. Tornado will not connect, but Savage can't really burst anyone down through the Chrono. He needs more damage. Still Jabs jumps in now with the double shackles coming out. Latching onto 2. Dreamusel's going to try and fight. There's your Ravage up from FBZ. Boom Esports just going to give it back the way of Among Us. Dreamer Soul, they've got a double. Mikoto will get the third. FBZ, he does eventually go down to Abed, but Whitemon, he's been caught out by Kezcute. He gets stunned up. Now Dreamer Soul, he's got the fifth one. It's going to be Abed on the Ember. He'll try to slide a Fist and Remnant away. Is it going to be good? Sunstrike, oh, they're going to miss it because of the swap, but it won't matter. A full team wipe out for Boom Esports.
Oh man, Among Us must have been feeling confident after the Aegis was gone, but they pushed their limits too far. You do not have damage in Savage. Like, he went for this farming build. He has the BKB, yes, but he needs the backup of his Wind Ranger, of everything they've got to get some damage into Chrono, because Battle Fury, Mask of Madness, and BKB does not do damage against a Tide. And he was trying to hit that Tide, although...
Oh, Cuckoo missed the arena there. Hyde able to leap out. Mikoto gives the tip back to Cuckoo now. Suddenly, Boom Esports, John, a 9k net worth lead. It's the highest it's been all game. 6-19 in terms of kill score. And it seems to only get worse for Among Us as time goes on.
Look, they need to get Savage some damage items up. He's working towards the MKB, but this is really just a test of patience here, as Boom are really tanky. Like, even if you catch, and that was a good Chrono, he caught out the Tide and the Chaos Knight, but they're so tanky. Like, the Manta there from Dreamer Cell gives him more stats. There's the Heaven's Halberd for some evasion. FBZ, it's a Tide. You know, you're just not going to melt the Tide in the Chrono without anything big up on Savage to do some damage, and that's just going to be the name of the game. Wait for Savage to get even more farm, and try to keep landing the Chronos. If you really have to throw it out, I don't think those two heroes are the target. You have to get the Squisher heroes, maybe try to catch out Mikoto, maybe catch out Kezcute's Venge. These are probably the only two heroes you really want to go for. You will have to catch the Venge regardless because of swap. So if you can get that done, I think you give yourself the opportunities, but it's becoming a hard game. This is all about farm efficiency for Among Us. They have to balance defending and getting farm up, and that it's just such a hard task when you start to lose all your outer towers.
We do have a quick pause out here from the side of Among Us. Boom Esports, they are picking up that bottom tier 3 tower, so they want to try and go high ground now. They are feeling confident, and I can't quite blame them. 11k net worth lead. There's no Chrono up for another 14 seconds, so they should know about that. See if they can get a tier 3 tower, 27 minutes. Dota Plus is definitely in their favor right now, John. 89% the way of Boom Esports. Of course, with the Void being on the side of Among Us, you can never really count them out. Chrono's always going to be super effective, but you just need some more damage, though. Like, they just haven't got enough.
No. It's just not. And this is the issue with the draft of Among Us. Not just that they lack damage from Savage, but they have no one else that can play with a Chrono. You maybe have Jabs who can focus fire, but it's a support Wind Ranger. You know, the right-click damage of Jabs isn't amazing. The MKB has yet to come out, and he has been going more for utility, buying dust to keep track of Mikoto, buying the smokes up, but it's the curse of the pause for Wind Ranger. You shackle people up, you have to depend on your team down the line to really get the damage pumping in, and there's just not enough. I mean, your two other cores are melee. So even if a good Chrono comes out, Savage is, for the most part, stuck on his own. And that's just a lot of pressure to put into one hero. Just a lot that the Void needs to work on. Maybe you can catch them on the edge. That's something we see TNC do more often, though. It's Gabby who really likes putting them on the edge with a one-man Chrono to let his other cores hit. You can't quite do that here because you have to be very careful of the Venge. If you do that, you give the Venge an easy way to just get a swap off.
That is very true. They need something. Anything, really. It's looking real tough here. Mind you, it is a best-of-3 series, of course, so
I don't think so.
You are still going to have to get a 2-0 victory or a 2-1 victory for one of these teams. It's not going to be over after this game, but Boom would certainly like to start off on the right foot here with this game number 1. Among Us, however, looking to not make it very easy for them. I think once that MKB is up on Savage is when you start to get a little bit more worried about Boom, but It's just such a ways off. By that point, if you have the AC up on Dreamer Cell, he's going into the heart straight after. He's going to be pretty tanky on that CK. You're looking at least 4k HP once the heart's up. Probably closer to 5. It's going to be slightly problematic.
Yep. It's going to be hard to keep him pinned down. Again, you do have some decent source of magic damage here. I suppose Abed is a consistent source of it. You just need him to get a little bit more farm up. You know, he's only got a Eul's and a Maelstrom along with the early drums. He is saving up for the Ags on the Ember, which will help him, you know, apply some pressure on the lanes, maybe get some split push going, get some damage out as well. But it's still a long ways off. It's about 3k gold away. So it's still a patience game for Among Us. Boom, beyond just the build up in Dreamo Cell. I mean, they've also got Shivas being lined up here for FBZ. We've got the Ags being queued up here for Mikato as well. So we will get to see Ravage Cataclysm at some point. And that is just as devastating as Cataclysm Chrono. That is why Boom does go with this combination. They've got this future-proof global nuke play that can come in. They've got the setup for it. You've also got progress for Hyde. He already does have the Lotus Orb, but they're going into the mech, probably down into the Guardian Greaves once you have the gold, and that just boosts that durability up, considering all the auras you've got here from Boom. So it gets to be a harder game, and they need to really find an opening Among Us. I think their most success has been really relying on Cuckoo. So if he finds a one-man arena with a spear and they just instantly get the burst afterwards, you're in a good spot. You just play the numbers advantage, force Boom to not feel confident going 4v5, and just keep stalling out. That has to be the game plan now for Among Us.
Should be a lot easier to do that once Abed does have the Aghanim Scepter up on the Ember. Just be able to continue split pushing across the map and trying to force the side of Boom back. He has the Shiva's Guard queued up straight after that. And that'll deal nicely with the Heart of Tarask that Dreamer Cell will eventually go for on that CK. We do have everyone connected to the game again, but Boom is waiting, or rather asking for a minute. They may be experiencing some issues as well. Cuckoo was saying that he might need the pause time for later on because there might be some electricity issues. So
good to know.
Yeah.
Always good to know that our power is, power's an issue still. It's the rainy season as well. I have no idea how you could lack hydroelectric power when the dams should be full, but it is what it is. I mean, it's been an uncharacteristically cold day. It's been a really nice cold day, so at least it's comfy during this pause time. And there you go, they're good to go now. We'll see what Boom does if they can apply that pressure. And Among Us, again, just playing the catch-up farm game. Gonna have to watch out because they can easily shove in this bot tier 3 now.
Into the tier 3 tower they go. They'll just send the Manta Illusions of Dreamer Cell in, but FBZ now going in for a gush. He's feeling confident on that Tide. Has the Ravage, has the Blink. Cuckoo, he'll miss the Spear. They brought everyone down but Savage, I believe, who is still farming the Triangle. Arena going to be placed, and that's just to block them off from getting to that tier 3 tower. They are not confident they can actually fight this one out. And yeah, they have the repair kit as well. Now the swap in. They've actually got the Venge there. Who was even swapped in? Cuckoo. Gonna come in now with the spear out onto Hyde. Mirana trying to leap out of there, but Abed gets her and does also get the Venge. The Great Remnant out. Was that a Lotus Orb swap? Is that what happened?
No. It was a swap on Abed, and Abed just dodged immediately. So not quite quick enough with the Orchid there. Very forward play from Abed, and they managed to successfully defend. Their tier 3 gets to live for another day. Boom has to kind of replan their assault. They do have Ravage, but again, they lost the Aegis earlier on. Perhaps they wait for the Ags up on Mikado and the AC pickup here. for Dreamocell, just to give themselves a little bit more tankiness. I think Boom has to watch the spacing on their supports. It's really been the supports that gets caught out, and that just breaks up the fight. So Boom, just be a bit more cautious with that initiation. I think with the level 2 swap from Kezcute, it's not ideal because you can't get the good swap, and they find a big courier. That's the AC being denied off.
Yikes. It's 3 minutes without the AC for Dreamocell. Abed able to pick it off. So that's going to buy them at least 3 more minutes of time. Should allow the MKB to be up onto Savage in that time frame. He's over halfway there now. Just needs the Javelin and the recipe. Boom. They look like they want to just wait for the next Roshan perhaps, but it's going to be a long ways off.
I think they're forced to because of that AC being taken out. They might not be too confident going in anymore without that major item pickup. Really good stall tactic from Among Us. They get to keep building up. You mentioned it. Savage should have his MKB done. I believe we might be seeing the Ags coming out from Abed at around the same time as well. So just about 500 gold off it, although he has to be slightly cautious playing here.
So, they go for the rift on the creep, and there'll be a remnant straight out from Abed. You are right, John. The Aghanim Scepter is going to be up right now, in fact. He can afford the point booster. Just sending the courier up to the secret shop, and you do have the MKB there for the Void. Some big items being up now on Among Us. They could actually go for a smoke with these, if they really want to. They do group up, and they will go for a smoke. Up towards the top lane, where they did spot out Makoto on the Invoker. Or Chrono, going to be on too. They do get Hyde and Kezcute. Dreamocell going to try and fight back into Whitemon. 23 Savage wanting to keep going here, but Abed misses the chains on Dreamocell. Jabs is coming back in. This is the Shackles. Nice man to dodge there from Dreamocell. Remnants going back in onto the CK. Abed may have gone a bit too far. He's been stunned up, but now a nice arena round from Kuku into the Ravage low FPC. He stuns everyone up, but do they have the damage now? Kuku is still rushing towards Makoto. The Invoker is very, very low, but does get the Ghost Walk off in time. Dreamocell's on a triple kill. Kuku for the spear, cannot get it. Makoto will blink away, and Kuku is going to go down. The only man to survive there was Whitemon, apparently on the Ogre.
Ooh, that was an on-point Ravage from FBZ. The patience for him. He knew Savage was in the pit, but he wanted the big Chrono when it mattered. It pays off. Boom did have to buy back 2 heroes, though. So they're going to be behind on their supports, but it's a massive opening for them to just lay onto the tier 3s. And they're just going to go for a set of racks first.
Easy racks to be taken. No buyback gold available right now on Among Us. It's going to be a real quick racks here for Boom. They'll go for a secondary as well. Down to that bot lane. They can get a 2 racks advantage. One of the real strengths of the CKs. Very, very easy to do this. And another great man dodge there from Dreamocell. Onto those Shackles. The repair kit's just not going to help enough. Dreamocell hitting way too hard on that Chaos Knight. On top of that, Aghanim Scepter now coming out for Makoto on the Invoker. Suddenly, Boom Esports. They are looking very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, there are still issues for Among Us. Like, they did get the softer targets in the Chronos. They immediately found the burst, but the buyback committal was just in a snap for Boom. They knew they had an opening after. Really good play on that buyback there. Among Us, it gets a bit tricky because it's not down to the Chrono anymore. I think they do have the damage. They just need to find the right targets. The question is, who is the right target? Because Dreamocell, the AC is up. And Courier's respawn, it's there. He's got a Reaver up as well, so the Heart is not too far off. And you're looking at an extra tanky CK now. Insanely tanky, actually, if you consider his EHP. And, of course, that's also going to boost up FBZ's tankiness. I think you have to catch Mikoto. It's got to be the Invoker in the Chrono, although.
Got a Tornado off onto the Ogre. So they aren't going to follow up onto Whitemon, though. Alright, so boom, they're just going to get back to farming up a bit more. I believe Dreamersaur actually has the Heart of Taras coming out now on the CK. Might want to just save for buyback gold on this Chaos Knight now. So if Among Us can win a team fight without him having buyback, they can return the favor and get a Rax of their own. Roshan's up, they scout it out, and Dreamersaur going to go in for it. All ultimates are available right now for Boom, so they can definitely fight this one out. Look how fast Dreamersaur takes that Roche. Gonna take his time with it, but a big smoke here from Among Us now, wrapping to the back where they found Makoto, but he blinks away. Now the Moonlight Shadow FBZ gonna get in there with the Shivers Guard, but Savage chronos him up. He doesn't want the Ravage there, but he might get it off anyway in time. No, the swap not gonna save him. Kesku now in trouble. The arena from Kuku gonna hold two of them in. Dreamersaur can't get out of there. He's just gonna wait it out as they just chase down the Invoker. That's the one they want, and that's the one they'll get. Dreamersaur trying to run, but Jabs has the Blink Shackles out, catches the CK. He is really, really tanky though. Look how long it takes him to die. He's still fighting back. They shackle him up. They eventually take him out.
Oh.
I guess that's the trick.
Oh,
as long as Dreamersaur's the last person left to take down, they can get the job done.
They couldn't get the swap. Like, they needed to swap that Tide out. They needed to live to get the Ravage off, but really good focusing down from Among Us, splitting that fight up in a big way. They get to get the Aegis and Cheese now as well. So a lot of tools coming up online for Among Us. Boom, punished for that pretty awkward positioning. Like, I believe FBZ blinked forward, didn't commit Ravage, got the Chrono on himself, and they isolated the Venge. And that was key. If you get the Chrono on a big target, but isolate the Venge, you're going to find the kill, and then you force the numbers advantage. And Among Us, they find the initiation. Boom, they've got to be more careful. They're stuck in an awkward spot. Their lead goes down to 5k. Their buybacks are not quite up. Their gold is not quite up there for buyback, so they need to save up a bit. They have to seed some of these outer towers. Yeah, the only bright side here is that it is taking a while for some of these side lanes to come in, so they're only really going to find the tier 2 top safely. But that is a sign of life for Among Us. You know, they take the big team fight. They've got a slight momentum advantage now, considering that Chrono is just that much stronger at this point. Boom have to be very, very on point with how they position themselves as these fights break out now.
I agree. They definitely do. Just getting some Sunstrikes out to get vision. Mid lane, Hyde, almost going down there to Jabs. It's a lot of damage with that that MKB I believe Jabs has, and be a bit wary about that Wind Ranger now. Jabs does hit very hard. Like Savage is working towards that Satanic build up on the Void. He's going to have it up pretty soon, but they'll start farming tier 4 items as well. Then we'll do the exact same thing. Just get those tier 4 items up. There's still 2 racks ahead, so they probably do feel confident in just buying out some time here. And just trying to wait for that perfect time to try and go for a smoke onto the side of Among Us. They do have to be very wary not to get caught out again, though. So it could mean a Rax the next time. Makoto. Moonlight Shadow going to walk in now. Trying to scout out. Oh, they're in the triangle. There's no sentries down. Jabs will eventually get stunned into the tornado now, but Kuku is waiting for a nice arena. Dreamersaur is stuck in there. Now Arbit's going to come in. Where's the swap out? It's not going to be there in time. Kescute, he does finally get it off, but Dreamersaur's already so darn low. Now the Chrono's there from Savage. He's caught 2 of them. He'll go on to Hyde after Dreamersaur. Oh, boom. They had the perfect initiation there, but there's a bit of hesitation.
Yeah, it's falling apart. Like, that's really big punishment coming out, and if they lose Mikado, that's going to be really dicey as well. Gotta be careful there, but now, you said it, but Rax can be taken here. They're going to be able to melt through these tier 2s. You've bounced back completely in the side of Among Us. Boom, still no buybacks, a full minute without Dreamosol. They do have this Ravage Cataclysm combo we haven't seen yet. They're gonna need to bring something out here because the high ground's under threat.
Yeah, Savage does take that high ground quick. He will lose all his mana though, but he has the Aegis anyway, just in case he does get in trouble. He wants to get at least the tier 3 tower while he's here. Preferably Irax if you can afford to, but he's going to have to settle for the tier 3. Still a nice swap in from Kezcute with the stun out from Hyde. Savage very low trying to flicker, but it's going to do him no good. He'll lose the Aegis. But Cuckoo is coming in with the arena. He also has the cheese up. Savage back in, but another EMP going to be out. Mikoto not going to be able to get the EMP off onto Savage. He does time walk away. Onto the tier 3 again. They know there's no chrono for another minute. They're safe in that aspect, but swap, arrow, not going to land, but the chains are there. Still a nice 4-star bout on Kezcute, but Abed going to chase him down. He'll go for him, and now Dreamercell going to try and come in onto Abed. They've got him. They've got the Ember. Now they want that team fight. Savage, time walking away. The flicker still not helping him out. He's going to try and man fight with that Satanic, but Dreamercell might have too much damage. They're trying like men, but Savage, he'll time walk away. Just in the nick of time. But look at this, the TP is going to be cancelled off here by Mikoto. He's got the one he wants, and that is going to be the Void. Savage now stunned up and silenced up. He's still trying to man fight this one with the time dilation. He has the time walk. He'll time walk the other way, but Mikoto going to BKB up now. But Savage, what kind of flicker was that? How does he know?
Oh, God.
That is some balls, John. He flickers to the low ground and somehow gets lucky.
Yep, that's it's a big win for Among Us overall. They take Irax. They still sacrifice a lot in the end, but they got some key kills. They're keeping Boom down. Boom, they're not quite out of it. There's a 5k lead for Among Us. It's now on their side, but there's still Irax up. They've still got a tier 2 outside as well. They've got lanes just naturally shoving in for them, and they can kind of sit back. They need to farm up these buybacks, and they need to get the positioning right. They've been punished way too much. I think level 18 is up there for Kezcute, although Jabs might make something happen. No. Not brave.
He's got a 10-second charge of his own jabs with that BKB now, so you can expect him to go for solo pickoffs, especially on those supports if he does find one by themselves. We saw Hyde earlier on just melting so quick to the MKB damage of jabs. I'll tell you what, John, as well, Savage, he's really using this flicker off cooldown every single time he's in a team fight. And I do like that about Savage. He's making it very, very confusing for the side of Boom to try and deal with him. It's like he just keeps blinking all over the place.
Yeah, and for a hero like the Faceless Void, right, you've got Time Walk, you've got mobility to get back in a good spot anyway. So it's not something you necessarily need to worry about still. They smoke up once more. Among Us, they've got the Chrono. They can try to hammer this game in now.
It's good smoke. They're going to spot out Hyde in the mid lane, but it seems like Hyde knows it's happening. Still Dreamercell. They're going to go into the triangle with the Moonlight Shadow, but Jab spotted him out. Savage now may get stunned up here by Dreamercell if he's not careful, but Cuckoo, he got the arena. They do kill off Whitemon, however. Savage stunned, still not going to chrono yet. They'll just go into Dreamercell, but he'll get swapped out. The shackles will wear off. There goes Jabs on the Wind Ranger. Savage still not chronoing. He's waiting for the right moment. It's not going to be yet. Back in on to the Tidehunter. They want FBZ, but Dreamercell, he's killed off Abed. Swap out from FBZ now into the Ravage. Savage, he does go down, and now Cuckoo will also die, and it's going to be a full team wipe.
Oh, God. I mean, that was the Ravage Kata, not the biggest one, but the swap. Finally saving the day. Kezcute swapping twice to save both of his cores. Really excellent play from Boom, and Among Us now in a very awkward spot. They're forced to buy back and Savage to keep the waves out, but Boom, they're looking for blood. The game, it's on the edge for both teams. They're not going to give this advantage away.
No, they are not. But there is still a tier 2 tower up that top lane. So they can either go for tier 4s or they can try for that tier 2 tower. But Dreamercell, he's bought an MKB up. I believe they want tier 4s. Going to move in now. Look how fast Dreamercell attacks with Alacrity. It's just ridiculous damage. With the leveler as well, John, by the way. But he's going to try and just Remnant in, but they've got to take the team fight. There's no choice. Repair Kit is there. Savage trying to flicker, but he's been stunned up again. The Chaos Meteor going to drop. Savage has died back. That is it. The game's over. They'll call GG, and Boom Esports, they'll take game number 1 in this upper bracket final.
Ooh. That was on the edge for both sides. A lot of back and forth. It looked really clean for Boom in the early game. Into the mid game, they slip up a couple of times late. You know, Savage comes online with his faces Void, but Boom holds out. Kezcute with the level 18 immediately immediately getting us to the point where he can get the swaps off, get the space off for his team. And Among Us, they've met their match. Boom, really bringing the fight out. We'll see what they can do for game 2, but Boom, if they keep that momentum up, they've got really high hopes to just make it to the Grands.
We'll be right back in 10 minutes to see how game number 2 does pan out. See you soon.